Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome, developers, to the Explainer. Look, if you've ever spent, countless hours wrestling with rigid game AI, literally untangling these massive spaghetti-like webs of node logic just to make a simple NPC walk around a box without looking completely brainless, yeah, you know the exact struggle I'm talking about. Well, today, we're looking at the end of that rigid era. We are breaking down a truly revolutionary tool from Buddhi Engine that actually, scratch that, it doesn't just change the rules, it completely rewrites the entire playbook for how we handle AI in games. The source material here hits the nail right on the head, summarizing the industry's single biggest combat design pain point. Your enemies are waiting for a brain, right? Because for years, our gold standard has been the behavior tree. It's essentially a massive, bloated flowchart dictating every possible move. But here's the fatal flaw. It's totally static. It's predictable. Players will figure out your attack patterns in minutes, and suddenly, boom, your terrifying epic boss fight just turns into a glorified rhythm game. Buddhi Engine is introducing a massive paradigm shift away from those pre-programmed flowcharts, opting instead to give your NPCs actual functioning cognitive systems. And the suite delivering this massive shift is called VegaFX. So this is an AI-native plugin suite, and it's specifically built from the ground up for Unreal Engine 5 developers and technical directors. Basically, VegaFX takes those tedious, hand-authored state machines and just tosses them right out the window. It replaces the whole shebang with foundational AI intelligence driven by a dynamic energy-based decision system. It's designed to bring this incredibly unpredictable and highly reactive life to literally every single enemy, fight, and scene in your project. So, to understand how VegaFX actually pulls this off under the hood, here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, giving enemies a brain. Number 2, the intelligent core covering HEAS and PCAS. 3, squad coordination and optimization tools. 4, seamless Unreal Engine integration. And finally, number 5, pricing plans and access. All right, starting right off with Section 1, giving enemies a brain, and looking at the massive scope of the VegaFX sweep. Look, transitioning to a true AI-native workflow, it completely changes the day-to-day reality for your team. The sheer scale of this toolkit is pretty staggering. We're talking 20 distinct editor panels spread across 3 different plugins. But the absolutely crucial takeaway here, every single one of those panels runs natively inside Unreal Engine 5. There's literally no alt-tabbing to clunky external standalone apps. It is all happening seamlessly right there where you build your game. Moving right along to Section 2, Intelligent Core, unpacking the proprietary models. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it shows the 2 proprietary models acting as the real brain center of VegaFX. First up, we've got HEAS. That stands for Hybrid Enemy AI System. So instead of forcing you to painstakingly handwire every single state an enemy might possibly enter, HEAS utilizes Buddhi Engine's energy-based decision-making. It actively tracks an enemy's internal energy state in real time to organically generate emotions, combat phases, and adaptive behaviors. Guys, it's a completely fascinating shift going from rigid programming to dynamic runtime psychology. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, your enemies operate through live emotions. Things like calm, tense, aggressive, and desperate. And to be clear, these aren't just cosmetic labels under the hood. These emotions actively drive behavior live on the screen. For instance, if an enemy's internal energy suddenly shifts from tense to desperate, maybe because their health dropped or you cornered them, their entire combat style organically adapts. You didn't have to manually script some specific low-health, desperate attack node for them. The system just infers it dynamically. It's wild. Working totally hand-in-hand with HEAS is PCAS, the Procedural Combat System. Now, if HEAS handles the why an enemy is doing something, PCAS handles the how. PCAS generates reactive attacks, combo chains, and physics-based hit responses entirely at runtime. That means it calculates exactly how an enemy should react to, say, a sword swing or a gunshot right in the moment, dynamically driven by their AI energy state. This completely eliminates the need to rely on thousands of those rigid, pre-baked animation state machines. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Over on the left, you've got the old way. Tedious, hand-authored behavior trees that take months to balance and, let's be honest, usually end up looking like a massive bowl of spaghetti. But on the right side, the new way. Runtime AI energy states and emotions, entirely powered by Buddhi Engine's proprietary AERM architecture. It just infers what to do next based on the live context of the fight, giving you incredibly adaptive, stable AI decisions. Okay, on to Section 3, Squad Coordination and Optimization Tools, empowering the developers day-to-day. Because, games rarely feature just one lone bad guy standing in a vacuum. VegaFX actually takes that core AERM logic state and expands it seamlessly across entire groups. Your enemies share situational awareness, they assume specific formation roles, and they dynamically escalate threats together as a highly coordinated unit. Plus, it features procedural combo chains that you can wire up right from Blueprint or C++, alongside super smooth, physics-based ragdoll to recovery transitions. And, as a huge bonus, right alongside all these AI features, the suite packs in a batch material and mesh optimizer, plus a dedicated tick manager. I mean, that's a serious dopamine hit for any dev wanting built-in performance optimization across platforms. And the coolest part, the way you interact with all this logic is through the built-in what-if simulator. The workflow is remarkably simple. Step 1, you tune your enemy's personality and phases. Step 2, you adjust those AI energy thresholds directly inside the Unreal editor. And Step 3, you see those behavioral changes happen live. The absolutely crucial point I want to emphasize here is that you do all of this absolutely without recompiling. The sheer amount of time saved by not sitting around waiting for C++ to compile just to see if a monster is slightly more aggressive, it is simply monumental, a total game changer. Which brings us to Section 4, Seamless Unreal Engine Integration, Zero Friction Deployment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Every technical director's biggest fear is engine friction, right? That absolute nightmare of complicated merges and broken builds. So let's put those fears completely to rest with arguably the best 5 words in game development: no engine fork required. Yes, really. VegaFX integrates right into your existing projects in minutes, with zero source-level changes to Unreal itself. You are not stuck maintaining some custom, hacked-together version of the engine just to get decent AI. Looking at the technical stack here, it targets Unreal Engine 5.7 and above. You get full native API access via both Blueprint and C++, so it seamlessly fits whatever workflow your team prefers. And because it runs so cleanly natively inside UE5, it scales flawlessly across PC, console, and even mobile platforms. The whole shebang is safely powered by those proprietary ARM models operating cleanly in the background. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Pricing Plans and Access, and how to actually get your hands on the beta. So how does all this fit into the practical bottom line, whether you're a solo indie dev or running a massive enterprise studio? The source outlines 3 distinct tiers for the upcoming beta. First up, the indie tier. This gives you basic emotion phases and Blueprint API access, capping out at 5 enemies max, which honestly is perfect for smaller scope projects. Then there's the studio tier, which totally unlocks unlimited enemies, full emotions, the C++ API, and custom ARM models. And finally, the enterprise tier unlocks all the advanced squad AI coordination, full source access, and dedicated support. Beta registrations are opening very soon, and they noted that early access pricing will definitely be available for studios who jump in early. Which really leaves us with this final, provocative question. The tools to move past those outdated, rigid behavior trees are finally here, sitting right inside Unreal Engine 5. The entire industry is clearly shifting from static logic to dynamic, foundational AI intelligence. So will your studio be the first to ship FRM-powered AI? Keep a close eye out for that VegaFX beta registration coming soon, and really start thinking about how giving your NPCs an actual AI brain could completely transform your next project. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.